when you are really in a dark place or when you're really in your worst moments, I feel like music's the friend that's always there for you. And so for me, so much of my success as an artist has been taking my most negative moments and harnessing and yielding that energy into something very positive. So I'll go to the studio feeling so depressed, so broken, and I'll leave the studio at literally 6, 7 a.m. with the finished song, and I'm literally in the studio mixing the final tweaks on it, dancing around, couldn't be more excited, gone from the worst day of my life to the best day of my life. And that's why I'm like, music's always there for you. It's the one friend who's always like, you could go to when you're in your deepest, darkest slump. And so there's nothing more precious than that, turning something that's such a dark moment in your life into something that you can share and not just color your own life, but bring color to other people's darkness.
Yeah, for others. That's what I was about to say. I realized that's why I make music. Like it was a time in my life where I just was like, I don't even know why I'm even doing this shit. Like what the fuck am I doing?
What happened? You were just like, you were about to leave it?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, but I was a fucking drug addict. You know what I'm saying? I was just,
Have you always felt like you've been a drug addict since you were pretty young? What is the journey with that? And not that we need to overspeak it because you probably talk about it so much to your own audience.
It's just like anybody else. You start out as a kid and it's just something fun. You smoking weed and, and I didn't start really experimenting more and more with, harder drugs until I became an artist pretty much and just touring and the type of company that's around you and shit like that. And it just got to the point, it just went on for too long. That's all it was. Because like I say, it started out as partying. And then before you know it, you're just doing shit by yourself. And you're not even partying. You're just doing it and you're just depressed. You just think. So I think that played a lot into it, where I was feeling like it was an escape. And it wasn't doing nothing but putting me deeper into a hole, you know. So now, but what I was saying is that now, so I just felt like and I think, just being a fucking drug addict and drinking a lot and all that shit, you lose a bit of yourself.
For sure.
So I just didn't know who I was anymore at that point. But now it's like I realized the reason why I make music is, like you say, we're a vessel. And God gave me this talent, to use it to make other people happy.
Right.
So even though I wrote so many songs about depression and to make people feel sad, but the crazy part about that is that I get messages from people all the time. Literally yesterday I was just talking to somebody and they was telling me how some of my darkest music made them feel better because they feel like they wasn't alone with the shit that they went through. Yeah. Now I'm trying to change it up a bit. I want to make more music.
Well, you already did that. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You can't get pigeonholed into doing one thing. Otherwise, why even do it? You already did that shit.
Yeah, I want to make music to make people happy. So now, like I say, I feel like that's my... Like I'll like even just having that fucking whole thought process. Like I don't know if I want to do this anymore. It ain't mine to decide. I didn't get, like you say, I don't know where I get this shit from. So it ain't mine.
It's out of your power.
It's not mine.
Music chose you.
Yeah.
You didn't even choose music. That's how it's been for me, at least. Where I'm like, I didn't try to get my first record deal. Someone came to me and I was like, you can make money doing this shit. Same with making videos. I'm like, I just did that to entertain myself and entertain my friends. When I was making videos as a kid, we didn't even know you could export out the videos.
Oh, shit.
We just did it to laugh. You know what I mean? And if you really love something and you could do it at the highest level you can, and the money will come 10 years later after sleeping on couches and whatnot. But I will say this about addiction. For me, it's been one of my biggest weaknesses. And I realized that you can turn your weaknesses into a superpower. For me, as an addict, it's like I've spent so much of my life just being basically a prisoner to the drugs. You know what I mean? Exactly. It's like, you're just like, you're stuck consuming just to feel normal. And as I've learned how to channel it into other things, it's about addiction doesn't just dissipate. It hops. You have to switch the addictions to the other things. Knowing, okay, you're an addict. It's like, okay, how do I use that to your advantage? So for me, it's like, okay, not to celebrate workaholism, but like ultimately, I work like 15 to 18 hour days. Why? Because I'm an addict and I'm able to channel my addiction to being a workaholic. But what's great is not just some job where I'm trying to fill my pockets as much as possible, but I can make art to actually inspire people, to help people, to make people laugh, to make people cry, whatever it may be. So for me, it's been such a big thing to be able to learn how to be addicted to the right things. So lately I've been addicted to working out. I run at least 4 miles every day. I go and work out if I have time. If I don't, and I'm traveling on a plane or whatever, then the next day I wake up and do it. And the days that I don't want to do it, those are the days where when I push myself, that's when I'm really making those like next steps in the right direction when you don't want to be there, like the studio. You know what I mean? It's like, that's when you really are like, making the gains of it. But for me personally, getting addicted to the right things has been such a magical thing, because then now I have this crazy thing where it's like, I could just keep going. And instead of keep going on the next drug or the next high, it's making the next art piece.
Yeah.
I can be constantly juggling 1,000 things and be like, okay, well, I'm burnt on this one. I'm going to switch over and switch gears to this one. And it's become something where I'm like, that weakness that was my biggest flaw is now the thing that like can make you rich, the thing that can make you a legend, the thing that can make you inspire the world and make the world a little bit of a better place without being too hokey and cheesy about it.
But that's the cool shit about you, man, is that you have so many fucking different creative outlets. So I
feel lucky, man.
And that's like you said, that probably comes from the workaholism though. Like
For
with
sure.
me, I just think that's the only thing I'm good at is music. Like I don't know, I can't do shit else.